Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. So the weather finally kind of broke. As you can see, it's a little bit cloudy and hazy out here still, but at least the humidity's down and it's not as hot with the cloud cover. So we have these guys to put in. We went over to the local garden center where I work, and I had seen these guys come in, and I had seen their first flush of blooms. They are 2 full sun azaleas, and I mean, the flower on these, it is a true like fuchsia. They call it autumn amethyst. But guys, when I saw these in full bloom, oh my gosh, it's so sexy. That's the best way that I can describe these plants when they are in full bloom. So what we are going to do is we are going to put these really sexy azalea plants right there and right there. So yes, we are going to go on ahead and pull out the holly. They have been struggle bussing it for about 4 years, and we have not had much success in getting them to grow. So we're gonna pull them. And these guys here are large enough that they should catch up with this fire bush. So it'll be a really, really stunning view, especially in the fall. We will have color on the azalea bushes there throughout the spring, summer, and then in the fall we will have the color on the azaleas as well as on the fire bush, and then on our thornberries. That guy over here, get over here, we're thinking we're going to have to replace them. But a lot of people have lost a lot of really well-established plants this year with the weird weather pattern. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull out the holly. We are going to put some weed barrier fabric down just to help the azaleas have a good start, not hopefully get overtaken by any of our native weeds, and then get them in the ground. And over here is not nearly as amended, so we are expecting to have to work a little bit harder at digging the holes. We'll see if that ends up being the case. But with these azaleas, they need to be not necessarily deep. They need the depth of their root ball, but they need double the width of the root ball. So however big the root ball is, double that in width, because that's what they need. They don't necessarily need depth, they need the width. So their roots go out. They do go down some, but they mainly go out. Cross your fingers for us, guys, because I'm thinking we're going to be digging for a while. So I'm going to put you on hyperlapse for this fun part, and we will get back to you here in a little bit when we've got some more information on what we are doing and how we are going to amend the hard pan, clay, and rock over here. We'll kind of go over that briefly. Okay guys, so we got it in. Our goal is to just kind of beat the weather, number one. Number two is to get them in and to get the soil amended. So when you are working in an area that hasn't been developed or that you have not developed, you can go ahead and get soil tests. I've talked about this before. You can find them at most big box stores. You can find them at most local garden centers. And it will be more than a one-time test. However, we've lived here for a long time. We've worked the ground for 10 plus years at this point, so we know what our soil is. Especially once you start digging into it, you can really tell what the soil needs if you stop and pay attention. So over here, when we started digging, we are encountering clay, but one of the things that we noticed first off was that it was fairly powdery, which means that this section over here is dry. So we went on ahead and we did backfill with the native soil, but we also put in some Espoma Biotone. If you're new here and you haven't heard me talk about Espoma Biotone, you really should go on ahead and grab you some, because we plant it with everything that we plant now, and it has helped our growth and the health of our plants exponentially. The other thing that we did is we took some cotton burr compost, and I got that at work from the local garden center, and this compost and manure blend is specifically for in-ground use, and it is specifically for soil aeration. Now, I'm not necessarily worried about aerating so much as amending what could potentially be some slightly hydrophobic soil over here. Since it's very dry, and since it's very clay forward and it's not a damp packed clay, that tells me that we could have some hydrophobic tendencies. So that's why we went on ahead and put the cotton burr compost in. The other reason that we use the cotton burr compost with the azalea in particular is because azaleas do not like peat, probably because of the acid level. Peat is a bit more on the acidic side, and azaleas just don't seem to respond well to the peat. I don't know why that is. I know that azalea amendments have some acid in it, but I'm wondering if it's the level of acid that they don't like in the peat. So that's why we went on ahead and also used the cotton burr compost. You noticed on the video, we did go ahead and put down some weed suppressant. We tend to struggle with devilweed, and it is aptly named because it is the devil and it gets everywhere. So we are putting down, it's a silage tarp in all actuality. It's not just a weed berry, but a full-blown silage tarp, just to make sure that we don't have an encroachment of something that's going to potentially choke out the roots. And devilweed will choke out the roots on bushes in particular. So we try to be very mindful of that. We try to take that into consideration whenever we are planting bushes out here where we've not done a whole lot of extra amending. All right, so let's go on ahead and put you guys back on hyperlapse and get that second azalea bush in. All right, guys, so we officially have the azaleas in these spots. They are about half the size of the fire bush, but that's okay. They are bigger than what the holly were. So we're hoping that this year, with a little bit of extra care and love, they're going to just explode and hopefully double by fall. And which means if they double by fall, it will almost be the size of our fire bush here. But thanks for joining us today. I hope this inspired you to maybe have the courage. I know that it's disappointing sometimes when a plant doesn't work out. And I know for me, it encourages me when I see other gardeners have fails like this and then go, okay, we're just gonna do something new. We're going to try something else, and that really inspires me, and I hope this video did the same for you guys as well. So I'm going to catch you on the next video, guys. As always, keep it simple, natural, and essential, and if you have any comments, drop them down below. Bye.